Xiaomi smartphones from Mi series have always been something of special package. They get a distinct flavor within all product line, and even in 2018, when the company released loads of Xiaomi Mi 8 something, the top Mix one still looks somehow different, kinda in its own way. But is it worth fighting for this way, or perhaps now it leads to the wrong destination? I welcome you to figure this out with us. Mine is Bogdan, and shall we? Devices in this series have always had one key point in the outer look. The screen takes as much front panel space as possible, and last year it seems to be that Xiaomi reached that maximum. There is a small chin, but in general, the future is ours. Or theirs. Actually, to be frank, the price for the futuristic taste is the ergonomics exhaustion. With desire to get rid of the infamous notch, the engineers found in the recall experience machine a memory of a slider, which may have brought some refreshing oxygen into Xiaomi's atmosphere, but it is to blame for at least half of the smartphone's problems. The first backstab is obvious. Moving parts always tend to fail, so it is not so difficult to break the Mix 3 sliding mechanism. Whether the front camera is open or not, the halves of the smartphone have a play. There's a gap in between, such welcoming to dust. Sooner or later, negligent people with messy pockets will have issues opening that phone. Wanna hear about the water protection? Ah, come on, who cares if I can do that stuff? Yeah! Also, pushing this full-screen innovation in frosty weather is a cruel mockery of yourself. When taking pictures, I had to struggle each time opening the phone because both front and back panels were slippery and you couldn't easily pull the screen down with cold hands. Well, and the final blow is the front camera. It's very difficult to wipe off a dirt on it, especially in a rush. Definitely, a traditional one-piece body style is way less problematic. Additional drops of oil on flame are the plastic edging around the glass and the ceramic back panel that in our sample from the factory has a dent defect. Long story short, at first glance, the coolant premium device doesn't feel to be that one, and the solution to the imaginary notch problem is eventually a sucker punch to both ergonomics and usability. Phew, gee, finally we've done with critical drawbacks. Well, almost. Instead of distinctive face unlock sensors, device is dealing with it by means of the front camera, and to say hello to the face security guard, you need to constantly jerk the front panel down, which is already not the most comfortable thing in the world. The recognition itself is pretty quick and works adequate even in not the best lighting. There's some funny notion. If the body is without a case, it may be difficult to find a fingerprint reader on the back, but as soon as you cope with this overwhelming task, Mix 3 will not make you wait for long and will almost immediately get you to the main screen. The front panel, frankly speaking, looks like the concept art of iPhone 6. The edge-to-edge screen is kinda a swimming pool with its sides, no soft buttons here, everything is neat and tidy. The display itself at standard settings looks colorful, saturation is on that verge when a bit of adjustment will make it in excess. When you set a high contrast, gamma's getting really bad, and the screen starts eating out your eyes. Well, the default set makes the picture very pastel and boring. Another infamous addition is that the color emulation mode for typical LCD is missing in this firmware. For the rest, it is a classic AMOLED screen with clearly visible shades of blue upon a strong tilt, a decent brightness range, and Full HD Plus on the top of 6.99 diagonal. I won't say that the people with eagle eyes will enjoy noticing red dots and other flaws of such a decision. There are no blames to the performance and where they may come from, as here we have 8 gigs of RAM in pair with top-end Qualcomm Snapdragon 845. All games are rocking on the highest graphics without noticeable slowdowns. Unlike many smartphones on Samsung or Huawei's hardware, the Epic Drive doesn't stop after a quarter of an hour. Sure, throttling saves its place, but even after 30-40 minutes, it doesn't turn Mix 3 into a lumpy piece of shit. In terms of battery life, our guy is completely a standard smartphone of our modern world. It will definitely work a day from a full charged battery. Do not expect anything more unless you cautiously count every electron. The presented results from benchmark tests were taken upon maximum brightness without a SIM card, but with turned on Wi-Fi and other wireless modules. Like other proud Xiaomi smartphones, Mix 3 will not let you suffer with cell communication, but unlike many of its fellows, it is equipped with NFC and also contains a wireless charging coil and corresponding adapter in the box, which is really cool. The latter one is a thing that I won't go sad if it's missing, but leaving me without mobile payments might be unwanted in a wish list, so if you're looking for a Chinese phone with Android Pay, it's the one you can keep your eye on. It's time to keep your ears wide open as we are moving to the sound capabilities. All the latest smartphones of Mi series don't have a mini jack, and alas, our respondent is not an exception. Here the company offers next options. The first one is to get Xiaomi EarPods with Type-C, the second second one is to buy wireless headphones, or to do the right thing and use something solid with stock adapter. In this case, you can count on a comfortable and soft but relatively decent sound that is out of reach in the first two cases. The device plays in a bold manner with a rise on a bass and a cut on a treble. The music isn't too loud, but you shouldn't wait for a crystal clarity. Do you know what sucks? When somebody thinks that without a notch, water protection and a headphone jack, the phone doesn't need stereo speakers and that people will fall for it. The multimedia speaker is located at the bottom. It yells relatively loud, but in a noisy place you will hardly hear the incoming call and definitely miss the message. The phone doesn't upset with rattling cry. Playing some videos without headphones and loudspeaker mode is not a problem for the built-in sound system. Moving on, cameras. The main one shoots without perfect aiming, but not bad after all. On the pictures there are traces of witchcraft over the clarity, yet the halos around the dark lines will not come out from anywhere themselves. Besides, the camera enhances the contrast, which is a bit unfortunate. As for the rest, daytime photos are mostly pleasant. The picture is sharp with true color, noise reduction is within limits and can only be noticed while cropping the picture. Something informative we receive also during the night, as photos doesn't look like oil painting. AI photo shooting mode is included, and advisable to keep in cage as it adds saturation and kills naturality. The video comes out in 4K and looks almost crispy. Traditional artifacts can be met extremely rarely here. Double team of software and optical stabilization effectively eliminates shaking and sudden movements. Presented clips speak for themselves. For me, it is a highly pleasing level of quality, especially by the standards of the smartphone with a price below 1500 bucks. The front camera has the same focus problem as our team faced last year. To be true, it's difficult to come out with some witty explanation of that. Selfies are potentially not the last in a row, but the device is just against focusing correctly. As we unlock the screen, we are met by so familiar MIUI 10. What's importantly is that gestures on Mix 3 turned out to be as never before useful, because in products of this series the software buttons always hurt the experience. New features are settings for the slider where you can choose the sound and the action when it opens. It's time to sum up the results. Mix 3 is a pretty weird smartphone. Of course, it doesn't have a notch and is all about baselness, but that's the full stop for killer queen features. There are a lot of Chinese phablets with a powerful hardware on the market, and a small fraction of them are made with AMOLED screens. Some even have a mini jack, and the chosen ones are also equipped with NFC. So, the best of the best from Xiaomi essentially doesn't offer us anything new. In exchange to the notch that we are getting used to day by day, we receive the weak point of moving body parts without anything good that can counterweight it. You know, at a price of 600 bucks, it's quite a bold move. Personally, I would pay more attention on monoblocks, since they definitely won't get out of fashion. Anyway, the links to this guy will be in the description box below. If you like this video, hit the like button, also subscribe and ring the bell to stay tuned for more cool content. My thanks for watching and cheers!